Hello and welcome to Racing News 365. My name is Nick Golding, a very tired Nick Golding, may I add, and it is, of course, Nick's Notepad here at the London E-Prix for Formula E. Today, the dust has not long settled on the penultimate round of the season. At the time of recording it is 9 p.m. Saturday evening. This video will go live on Sunday morning to whet your appetite ahead of what will be a season finale that decides the title. Just 7 points separating the top 3 after today's action, but we will get on with that. Now, you can probably hear a lot of music behind you, and that's because Abt Cupra are blaring out some absolute tunes. And there's a very good reason for that, in that they scored some absolutely super points today. Nico Müller finished in an excellent P6 for the team in his penultimate race for them as well, scoring really valuable points for the team's championship. And it's really valuable given what happened to the team that comes up next. We'll speak with that in a second. Lucas Di Grassi, really unfortunate, just missed out on the points in what was a race that had everything. We had 2 safety cars, several yellow flags, collisions all over the place, title outsiders ending their title chances through collisions. It's good tunes, and he's just turned the camera right, so I've been dancing. But anyway, let's move on to Mahindra and their best weekend, well, their best performance, should I say, of the season. Nick De Vries finishing in 4th for Saturday's race. Eduardo Mortara had finished in 7th, but actually finished the race in 5th due to time penalties for drivers ahead. There was a lot, and I mean a lot of time penalties. For one driver in particular, you wouldn't really expect it from, but we'll get onto him in a little bit. So yeah, Mahindra, a massive performance, which comes at an excellent time. It's very much on the side of their car, they have Together We Rise, which sums up the way they've progressed this season, given that, you know, it was only pre-season testing. Their garage was quite literally on fire. That feels like a long time in the past. The cars are under covers. The garage is calm. The pit lane is calm, except in Abt Cupra, who are absolutely blaring some tunes. It's very much feeling like the dust has half settled. And that's because it is, of course, a double-header weekend. The final race of the season is tomorrow, and a lot of us thought there'd be at least one championship of the 3 done today. That's not the case. All 3 are up for grabs tomorrow, or on Sunday, obviously. So today, you're watching it today, that's very confusing. It's always confusing when you record a video the day before it's going to go out, because I'm here saying today, when actually it's today for me, but the video go out. You know, I'm just going to carry on talking and go on to ERT and shut up for a little bit. ERT, really unfortunate. It was a race that had so many surprises, which led to some of the slower teams, some of the more back Marcus sides, scoring big points like Mahindra and Abt. ERT, unfortunately, weren't one of those teams who scored points. Dan Tixman 13th, Sergio set a camera in P12, so somewhat disappointing, but ultimately it's been a difficult season for them, and it's now looking like as well both drivers will actually stay with the team. We spoke about that yesterday, well, in the previous episode of Nick's Notepad, and it looks like they're both going to stay. Neom McLaren, I mean, talk about unlucky in all fairness. Sam Bird made a really, really good start in all fairness. Did end up finishing, where's my notes? Did end up finishing in 8th. Probably could have finished higher, but was unfortunately caught up in an opening lap collision. He wasn't part of the collision, but it caused a blockage for half the circuit, and he just happened to be in the wrong place at the right time, had to stop to take avoiding action, which effectively, that's a new word, effectively saw him tumble to the back of the grid. Moving on to Jake Hughes, and he unfortunately also retired from the race due to damage. Unfortunate, because it's his penultimate race with the team, it looks like, before moving on. And actually, he's one who you'd kind of expect to have decent pace. He's always been quick in qualifying. He's kind of struggled today. McLaren, over one lap, haven't looked exceptional, but looked semi-decent in the race. And given that Sunday's race, or today's race, obviously when you're watching this on Sunday morning, is 3 laps shorter than today, which could have a big impact on what teams are strong and what teams are not. One team which did look quick in qualifying were Nissan. Sasha Fenestraz would have finished in the points, but checking something's not coming. Sasha Fenestraz would have finished in the points, but received a time penalty, which ended up dumping him down to P14. He had a collision with Norman Nater, which he was judged at fault for. Oliver Rowland was another driver to receive a time penalty. Qualified in 7th, finished in 15th for an opening lap, well not opening lap, but in the opening laps had a collision at the final corner, which is just up there, if the camera can show it, with Antonio Felix da Costa, 2 title outsiders, and Ollie went into him. Ollie went up for a move down the inside of the final corner, effectively 2 into 1, just did not go. And in the end, they both ended up in the wall. Antonio had to retire with pretty substantial suspension and steering damage. Ollie did manage to continue, but obviously there was a late safety car in the race, which effectively meant that any driver who had a time penalty was screwed, pretty much. It meant they were going to be demoted to the back no matter what happens. There is the podium, which looks majestic, and I think is bringing out the colour in my skin. Very random sentence, but you know what? We keep on moving. It's also quite a big place. So there was the podium, and tomorrow that is where we're going to see the world champion. And you know what? I have absolutely no idea who that is going to be, and that is so exciting. Let me know in the comment section below who you think is going to win the world title. We'll speak about the world title in a few minutes because we're coming up to the business end of the paddock. And Maserati, oh Maserati. I mean, talk about a team that just had absolutely no luck today. Looked like they were going to claim their first podium in a little while. Max Günther had incredible pace in the closing stages, had more energy as well than the race winner. Unfortunately, had what he reported is either a drive shaft or gearbox issue, and it sounded weird. They had an onboard off his car prior to an incident happening, and it's being fixed on right now, funny enough. You can look at this is Max's car right here, and you can see that work is still very much going on. It's actually, let's say, a lot of work going on, so maybe not showing the, very quickly. Let's turn the camera away, let's not give away their secrets. So Max ended up retiring from the race, but would have been second, so yeah, massively unfortunate. Jehan Daruvla also didn't, oh, where is he? Jehan Daruvla, all right, so many notes. Yeah, Jehan also finished outside the points. He had damage. It was a race of attrition, very much. It was a long race, almost around an hour. 37 laps became 39 due to them being added on because of the safety car periods. And yeah, it was one of those where you were either a big winner or a big loser. DS Penske were unfortunately losers today. Stoffel Van Dorn did get a couple of points in P9. Jean-Eric Vergne in P17 was involved in several collisions today. He was a driver that was taken out by a driver who received 20 seconds worth of time penalties, so we were actually getting onto in a second. Porsche. Well, on one half of the garage, Antonio Felix da Costa was an emotional figure after the race because his title is now over. It is a 3-way fight. His run of wins is over through none of his own doing. And again, it's because he was taken out by Oliver Rowland, something he was furious about. He believes that Ollie actually, knew what he was doing. And again, there was a lot of raw emotion behind that. And the raw emotion was the complete opposite on the other side of the garage. And there's a very good reason for that. And that's because Pascal Wehrlein is the new leader of the Formula E World Championship. Porsche felt on it all day. They were blaring the tunes, the positive tunes, the energetic tunes at 8 AM this morning when I walked to the pit lane, and it just felt like they were going to have a good day. Pascal won. He started in third, was overtaken by Norman Nato in the opening lap, down to fourth. Worked his way back into the lead, had incredible energy, and now leads the World Championship by 3 points. That could be crucial because we know he's got 1 lap pace. We know as well that, as I said, Sunday's race is 3 laps shorter, which should work more in Porsche's and his favour. A big driver to watch tomorrow. Is Pascal going to be the world champion? I didn't think so coming into this weekend, but now it is absolutely wide open. Tomorrow is also, or today should I say Sunday, it's the final day of this guy being the reigning world champion. Jake Dennis, Sunday will be his last day. For now, with the number 1, he received 20 seconds worth of time penalties for several collisions. The first incident was with, and I need to get my facts right, he had incidents today with Jean-Eric Vergne. He had an incident with Nick Cassidy, who we'll get onto in a moment, and it was a weird one. He had exceptional pace, finished 5th, but of course with the 20 seconds worth of time penalties, was well outside the points. So yeah, difficult day for him, but we'll see how it goes. Jaguar. Here we go. It's Jaguar against Porsche for all 3 titles. Mitch Evans started on pole position, wasn't the prime spot, led the opening stages, ended up finishing second. He was really frustrated, so that Jaguar didn't execute the race correctly, and you kind of feel that way. He had less energy than Pascal, quite a bit less energy, so frustrating for him, but he is only 3 points behind. He is still second in the standings, entered the weekend 12, enters the final race, just 3 behind. Nick Cassidy has gone from first to third. He is 7 points behind, and with it all to do. He was hit several times, obviously by Jake Dennis, by Stoffel Van Dorn. He said to me, he was almost like a bouncing wall. It was that frustrating, and he had really good pace, but just didn't get a chance to show it and just finally envision. And yeah, again, really mixed. Sebastian Buemi finished second, a really good performance. Robin Fryans, unfortunately, has gone to hospital after a crash with Jake Dennis on the opening lap. And again, Jake was at fault. But yeah, we're spending our best wishes to Robin and a really speedy recovery, hopefully. And yeah, so much to look forward to ahead of the last race of this season. I urge you to watch it. Give Formula E a chance, because it is very much at its best, and Sunday is going to be unbelievable. I cannot wait. Let me know in the comment section below who you think is going to win the world title. This is the end of today's episode of Nick's Notepad. My name's been Nick Golding. We are Racing News 365. Who's going to win the Formula E world title? I don't know. We'll see you later on.